Hey guys, it's Marcus. Welcome back. So a lot of people ask, what is wholesaling? I'm gonna break it down to you guys in the simplest format. Wholesaling is when you as a wholesaler go out and find a motivated seller that's looking to sell their property in the current condition that is in. Once you get it under contract, you then have to find a motivated buyer that's looking to purchase that property. Once you do, you're going to assign the rights of that contract over to that end buyer. How you make your money is going to be the difference between what you got that property on the contract for with that seller and what you assigned it to that buyer. That's going to be your profit or your assignment fee per se. And it's that simple. So now since I explained it to you guys, let's talk about finding some properties. Let's go. First way to find a deal, I'm gonna make it very simple for you guys. MLS, realtors. This is the cheapest way for you to get leads in your inbox. Go out there and meet some agents. You're gonna get a lot of agents that's not gonna really want to talk with you initially, and that's okay. Your job is to go out there and find the ones that do want to do business with you, right? So I know when I first started, I used to call agents at the 6 p.m. because if I knew the ones that actually answer the phone would pick the ones that answer the phone are actual hustlers. Them are the kind of agents that you want to go after, okay? Once you talk with them, be very, very transparent. Let them know what your plan is and how you want to do business. Don't be afraid, be very upfront. Don't waste anybody's time. Once you do that and you got a realtor that's on board, go out there and find some investors that you know that's buying actively out in the market, whatever market that you're in. Talk with them, find out their buying criteria, what kind of rehabs they like, what kind of areas they like, and what kind of price points they like to purchase at. Most important things, nothing else really matters at that point. Once you do that, go back with that agent, sit down with them, and have them set up what they call hot sheets. These hot sheets should be emailed to you every single time a property that matches that criteria comes out on the MLS. It's free leads. Talk with that agent, have them go over a certain amount of, certain areas and price points and parameters and any changes that you potentially may have to make. Along with that, they can put in special words and verbiage that's going to be able to capture that information, such as is, water damage, needs work, foundation, TLC, handyman special. These are keywords that they can plug into the MLS, and you're going to be able to get deals from that right there. Again, it's free. If you have a budget that you can spend money, that's great too. Also, we're gonna go over some processes and some lead funnels that you're going to be able to pull deals from, but it's going to be a little costly. So the next one that we're going to talk about, number 2, is going to be letters. Now, letters are really good and it's really efficient, but you really have to understand what you're doing just because of the fact that it's very costly, or it can get very costly. I mean, right now, you're probably thinking between 30 to 50 cents per letter, depending on what kind of letter that you're sending on average. Dealing with letters, you got to be very targeted. And the reason why I say that is because of the fact that you're going to be competing with companies that, other wholesalers that, that's at the top of their game. And they may be sending 50 to 100,000 letters per month. It's not crazy. So, me personally, you have to send more than 1,000. I would say at least 2,500 to 5,000 letters a month would be efficient, but you have to be very, very, very targeted. Not a shotgun approach at all. Definitely understand what you're targeting in the market or the people that you're going after. List stack. And what I mean by list stack is, me personally, if I'm going after letters, if I'm using letters per se, then I'm going after 65 or older, high equity, free and clear, or at least 50 to 100% equity. Along with that, I want them, they may be absentee owners, or they may own more than 2 properties for the past 25 years. You want to get very targeted with these. And the reason, again, is more of a cost thing. So if you're just starting off, you don't have a really large budget, is plenty of other things that we will talk about that we can do instead of just letters. But once you do have some capital, or if you do have capital already saved up, then definitely do it. But I would say be very targeted and make it a niche list that you're going after. Do not go with the shotgun approach once again. It doesn't make sense and it's not going to work. Be very targeted. You can send out your 25 to 5,000 letters a month and you got a chance of probably getting 1 to 2 deals out of them. But definitely sit down, go after it and think about it, what you're going to do and how you're going to do it when it comes with letters, because it is a good cost to it. So the next one is going to be bandit signs. This is so old-fashioned, but it's super cool, and there's a way that you can still get deals. And I want you to think about it like this. If a person is willing to call a number that they don't know on a random street corner to sell a house, there's a good chance they're probably super motivated, right? So with that being said, I would say, me personally, I always got at least 100 bandit signs. It is a cost to them. It's not as pricey as letters, as we spoke about previously, but it is a cost to them. I would normally get 100 bandit signs, and I always plan to drop them over the weekend. The reason why I drop them over the weekend is because code and compliance will pick these up. If you drop it out Monday through Friday, there's a good chance. If you put it out there, example, at noon, there's a good chance probably by 2 o'clock it's going to be gone already. So over the weekend, there's a good chance that they're not working, and it's going to give you the ability to be able to drop them signs out there
and you're going to get the, you're going to maximize, people seeing them on the street corner. Another cool thing is I don't drop one on a corner. I drop 3 or 4 at every single corner that I'm at, just because of the fact of I want that blanket effect. I want people to see it everywhere, wherever I target. Quick side note, make sure when dealing with code and compliance that it's not a fine or a ticket, because in a lot of parts of the country, a lot of cities throughout the country, they frown upon these bandit signs. So if you get a call and they tell you to stop, you should probably stop, especially if you're putting your own personal phone number up there, which is a whole nother conversation, which you shouldn't be doing anyway. Definitely, guys, take the time to get you, some kind of calling platform where you can use a third-party number and that you can probably spend a couple of dollars on every single month, that you can use to put your phone number on the bandit signs. It makes sense. But definitely, I think it's an awesome avenue to go, and it's another way that you can go out there and target a certain area that that have older homes, probably say 70 and 80 built homes, that you can go out and you can just drop a bunch of bandit signs over the weekend. But I would say at least do 100 signs if you're going to do it, and you can probably do it once or twice a month. Again, it's a numbers game. So obviously, the more that you get out, the more you fill up the funnel, keep on filling it up. So if you have the ability to get 300 or 400 bandit signs, you can get them out there. Or you can pay some people to go out there and drop them for you, or call a partner up and you guys grab a couple of beers and, go out and just drop some bandit signs on the weekend, and definitely do it. But it's a way that you can definitely make a good amount of money and pop some good fees on some good deals. The cool thing about bandit signs is too, also what I have noticed from my personal experience is that it's not as much competition. Letters, you're always going to get that 3rd or 4th other person that's going to be there too. A bandit sign, it's normally just you. And that's when you can really dig in deep, and you can get that property for 30 to 40 cents on a dollar. It happens. No matter what market you're in, they always say it's competitive, and it is. But there's a good chance if you're that only person, you can really name your price. Number 4, driving for dollars. This is a very efficient way that you guys can get out there and find some deals. Driving for dollars doesn't consist of much, but having a car, a notepad, and/or a good third-party app that you can use, such as Propelio or Deal Machine, that you guys can use, to target these houses with. When driving for dollars, it doesn't take much other than trying to recognize a home that look like it needs some kind of work, or it could be vacant. Things that I normally look for when I'm driving for dollars is, high grass, newspapers, a leaky roof. When I say leaky, I mean a tarp on a roof per se. Foundation issues, old windows, things of that nature. Good rule of thumb, if you got to think about whether it's vacant or not, take down the address, right? Another cool thing is if you see something that's a really, really, really hot lead, or something that's very interesting to you, get out and knock on the door. Talk to that person, see if they're interested in selling for cash. Me, myself, personally, I love just to ask hey, local investor in the area, looking to see if you knew, or if you know, or any of your neighbors are interested in selling their property for cash. That's all it is. It's just that simple. Don't be afraid to ask these questions. You'll be surprised. You will get the people every now and then that, obviously they're going to slam the door. They're not interested, or things of that nature, and that's fine. I call it treasure hunting. That's all you're doing. It's the only thing you have to do is just to get out there, find that one person that want to say yeah. If you can't find that, the person that you're knocking on the door, if they're not answering, talk to the neighbor. The neighbors always know. Always go across the street or next door. I guarantee you're going to find a neighbor that knows something about the house and what's going on with it. I've bought leads off from the neighbor, asking them about the house across the street. So it's not like it's going to happen. You just have to do enough of it. Don't take it for granted, guys. Doing something like this, it'll pop you very large fees. I have popped 50, 60 grand fees on door knocking just because of the fact of it's nobody else, there's no competition. And you'd be surprised, a lot of times these people don't even think that they can sell the house in the condition that it's in. So take advantage of it. Make it a part of your daily goal, or your weekly goal, I should say, of having 1,000 a day, right? Or 1,000 a week, having 1,000 a week. 5,000 a month is not that hard, something like that. But you definitely have to fill up your funnel on them. If you guys are like delivery drivers, Uber, you see the routes, you see vacant houses, them, take down the addresses, but knock on the door. It's something that you guys should be taking advantage of. If you guys work for a living, take a different route home or to work every day. But again, just make sure that you build it enough up. This is another funnel that, again, is efficient, is not as costly. You can be very targeted. And it doesn't take that much time. When you turn on the radio or put in some earphone, put on some music and just drive and tag. That's all you have to do. And if it's a really good deal, jump out. All right, guys, number 5, newspapers. Newspapers are very old school, but it's still a solid way that you can buy deals. If you think about it, a lot of these guys, these hot shots that's out here buying houses right now in their 20s, they're not posting in the newspaper article. I can guarantee you that. But you can, and there's a good chance that you're going to be able to backdoor and get a couple of deals a year out of a newspaper article. It doesn't have to be anything too over elaborate. Couple of words: I buy your house today cash, something like that with the phone number, your name and a phone number. Definitely don't have to be over the top. And one of the reasons why I say that is because of the fact of you're going to be dealing with probably seniors or somebody that's very no nonsense, right? And if these people call you, they're going to be very serious about selling their house. They're probably going to be more serious about selling their house than you are buying it. So you should definitely make it a point of emphasis to place a couple of ads in the paper. It don't have to be costly. Use the green sheet. See if you get some specials, but this is an avenue to where you're going to be able to buy at least 1 or 2 deals a year off of. And it may not sound like a lot, but your fee may be a lot. So just think about it like that. And it's a good thing to also, side note, if you look, you're going to see pretty savvy investors still posting in there. I can guarantee if I go on my local newspaper right now, I know 2 or 3 investors that's very big time in this area, and they still post in the newspaper. So side note, you can call them people too also and try to pick their brain for some other things, some other resources too also. But I think it's a great avenue. Number 6, networking. Now guys, this is super, super important. You can't make money being behind a computer, and you can't meet people being behind a computer. You actually can, but you need to be face to face. So networking is probably one of the most important things that you can do. Get out there, talk to people, let them know what you do. Hey, what do you do? I buy houses cash. Do you have anything for sale? Talk to everyone like that. Don't be afraid to make yourself a little short elevator pitch. Get out there and talk to all the people that you know. Let them know, tell your family, tell mom and pops, tell grandma, tell your aunts and uncles, tell all your friends what you do. Because obviously, the more you expand your name out there, there's a good chance that these deals, instead of you chasing the deals are going to be chasing you, okay? It's going to give you a chance to be able to get out there and have people come to you and want to sell you their products and their properties that they have, which is honestly working with other wholesalers, which I do all the time. I just purchased a flip of mine that I just finished yesterday, honestly, and I bought it from another wholesaler, and I met that wholesaler through networking. Again, cream always rises to the top, and people will always like to chase cream. It's kind of always say it's like the white tiger effect, right? The more deals you can do, and the more people see that you do deals and you do good business, there's a good chance that people want to be around you, right? People always want to pet the white tiger, right? So you go out there and be that white tiger or that blue giraffe, whatever you need to be to get yourself out in front of people, you do that. But I guarantee you, if you're doing business and you're doing what you say you're going to do and you're networking hard enough, people will recognize you, and people will come to you. So make sure you join all the meetups that you can go to. Go to classes. Like the classes, it doesn't hurt. Even if you know, it's still stuff that even if it's a class that you know, it's still stuff that you can do. It's still people that you can meet. It's still things that you're going to know or find out about or learn that you didn't know before. I've been doing it for so long, and I talk to people that have been doing it for a few months, and they give me ideas about things that, on how to handle certain situations I never thought about. So never be afraid to ask questions and to grow and to network and to know more. That's going to get you more deals. I guarantee you guys more than any of the other lists that I'm giving you is getting out there networking and do what you say you're going to do. The real estate community, networking, and people who say that they're doing this business is like that big, right? My goal was always to get to like these core people right here. And they all know each other. I say you're doing good business when you one phone call from getting vetted out in your area. That's all you need to be. So make sure if there's anything that you focus on networking that hard to where somebody can call and ask if you do business and they say yes. You don't want them to say no, trust me. You don't want them to say no. You definitely want to be a situation to where they go, yes, I know him. He does a good business. You know, it's going to make it easier for you. I have bought deals from agents, from homeowners, from other wholesalers that had higher offers because I networked with them, I performed, and I went back again to ask for more business, and I thanked them. So you guys have to make sure that you do that. A thank you card goes a long way. A call back after the fact goes a long way. A gift card or something like that, or a steak dinner after the fact go a long way. And that's a part of networking. Funny story with networking, I actually sat down with a guy from 2 opposite ends of the world. He loved tractors, John Deere tractors and horses. He wanted to have a beer with me. Didn't really want to go. Sure, let's go have a beer. While in the process of me sitting down with him, I'm networking. He got a lead on the house that he got a call back on the house that he'd been working on for 6 months and they wanted to sell. He gave me the numbers on it, said what he was gonna sell it for. They sent over the contract while we were drinking a beer, and guess who he assigned it to? 15 grand. So network with everybody. It's a business, it's politics. Shake hand, kiss babies, get leads, and get some paychecks. Number 7, cold calling. Cold calling can be a very efficient way for you guys to buy deals too also. There's a couple more steps to it, and you definitely have to set up calling systems and have some VAs, and have some back office help to be able to get this set up. But it's very efficient, and and once it's flowing, I mean, you can bring in a lot of good deals. Me myself personally, I love using PropStream and skip trace, and also too to buy data. You got a data and you got to list that. You got to get data and you got to list that. Me myself personally, I love vacant, absentee owners, 65 and older, probates, eviction lists. Go down to your local city or get on their website and get the code and compliance list for homes that that may been resecured by the city for being vacant, or been fined by the city for having high grass. I mean, these are niche lists that you're going to go after. This is more or less not a shotgun approach. You want to be very targeted with this. Again, just because of the fact of you can burn through a lot of money. Speaking from experience, you can burn through a lot of money having an exorbitant amount of VAs and half of them are no good, and buying lists and not stacking them correctly. The list that I gave you, or the things that I've said, you don't have to just use one list. Like, you can stack them repeatedly. I just skipped data a couple days ago. What I did, everything that was vacant for the past 2 years that was owned by that owner, free and clear. So see how targeted I was? I just didn't use one, I used 3. You using 3 or 4 or even more, when you kind of really stack on stack on stack like that, it's going to remove all the other people that's doing the same thing that you're doing. Again, there's a lot of competition when doing this, but ideally you're trying to be better, right? So that means you're gonna have to put a little bit more thought into the process of how you're gonna stack, what lists you're gonna pull, how you're gonna talk to these sellers, what questions that you may ask if you don't have VAs that you may ask or the VAs may ask. The shorter the better, straight to the point. Hey, my name is Marcus. I'm calling you completely out the blue. I'm calling you about a property I see you own on 123 Main Street. I want to see if you're interested in selling that property for cash. If yes, get their info, get the condition, get their price, get off the phone, go to the next one. I train my VAs just like that. I got them pitched, I pitched them perfect. I have them pitch me. Any changes, any mistakes, that's on me, that's on you. So you make sure that you train them appropriately. Have meetings with them every week. Have meetings with them every week. Have training sessions with them every week. These people, was a good chance if they're VA, obviously they're not in person with you, right? So there's a good chance that you don't have anybody to work for you that's in person. Get on video calls, make it fun, do training sessions. Like, listen to your calls. You get on there, you get up there too, and let them hear you make mistakes too. It's about being a leader. It's not trying to boss them because you're paying them. It's not bossing up on them. It's just simply trying to show them the right way to get you deals. I don't care who the boss is, as long as I'm getting paid as I'm supposed to be. But train these people the right way. Make them get out there and tell you any mistakes any issues that they're having, or if anything that you can do to help them do better at their job. Don't be afraid to pick their brain. I have had VAs that give me ideas, which turn into deals and turn into more lead sources. I'm never bigger than anybody that worked for me. But it do take a lot of training. And having a cold calling system set up, it does take a good amount of work and a good amount of tweaking and changing, but you can buy a handful of deals out there monthly. Number 8, outside the box. So this is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to kind of hit you guys with a couple of things. I'm going to talk about situations how you can acquire some properties. I'm going to talk about some situations how you can meet new contractors. I'm going to talk about situations on how you can meet new buyers. But this is all outside the box thinking. I mean, you guys are going to have to seriously kind of just look at what's in front of you. Just not situations, but people, and see if you have the ability to be able to cultivate relationships with them. It's not that hard, but you just can't be a take situation. Okay, you're gonna have to see what the person does for a living, and see if it can help you, or find out what kind of company it is and see if it can help you. Prime example, I have bought a good amount of deals from pawn shops and from bail bondsmen. I know it sounds really crazy, but it works. I'm gonna start with pawn shops. Don't be afraid to stop in there. A lot of times, obviously, people, they're selling products or whatever they have, personal property. Yeah, a lot of times it is because they need the cash in a distress situation, whatever they're in. But also it's times to where just simply somebody that's just moving, they got excess junk, and they just want to go ahead and sell it. They know they can make a couple of bucks, which would probably be more than them being at it, posting it up at a yard sale, and they take it to a pawn shop. You'll be surprised how these people actually know people that's actually, that's selling their home pretty soon. Go in there, just ask them a question, leave them a business card. It don't have to be a long, drawn out conversation with them. Walk in, shoot them a card, tell them what you do, tell them that you pay, whatever it is that you want to pay, $1,000 or $1,500 for it. Talk to them about it. Nothing wrong with it at all. Another good thing too also is if you do get a property from them, they give you a lead, make sure you pay them. Do what you say you're going to do. That's the biggest thing in this game and in this business and in life in general. Do what you say you're going to do. All right. So if you smack a deal or if you close a deal, bring them $1,000. I'm pretty sure Bob from the pawn shop, he's going to be happy if you just walk in there randomly 3 or 4 weeks later with a check for $1,000. He'll be very happy. And I guarantee you, if you come across anybody else that have a property that they may want to sell, or if he was ear hustling and heard anything, I'm pretty sure he's going to give you a call. You guys got to think about it like that. Same thing with the delivery drivers, FedEx drivers, UPS drivers. These people have routes that they drive every day. They know vacant houses when they see one, or they know when they get return mail and things like that. If you see them flagging them down, talk to them. Ask them like, hey, do you have a lot of vacant properties on your route? Or do you know of any vacant properties on your route? I'm a local real estate investor. I buy houses cash. I was driving through here looking at another property. Just wanted to see if you know any vacant houses. I can probably skip trace and call the seller. Only thing I need from you is the address. Give them your business card if you got money. If you have in your budget, I should say. $10, $15, pass it to them along with the card. Give them $20 along with the card. Let them know like, hey, look, I'm dead serious. I want to buy some more houses. I mean, their eyes are going to light up when you just randomly just give them $20 along with your business card. That's how serious you are about it. Hey, look, shoot me a list, whatever you got. You can text it to me every day. I'll take a look at it. We'll stay in constant contact. Hopefully we can do some business together. People appreciate that and they take you serious. Let me ask you, when the last time somebody gave you a business card and gave you money with the business card just so you can do future potential business? That don't happen. But if somebody do it, I'm assuming that they're probably serious. I know I would. Next thing is then stopping at rehabs, right? I mean, if you see a rehab going on while you're going to look at a house, why not stop in the rehab? Knock on the door. The door is a good chance it's going to be open anyway. It's going to be guys working. Ask them, can you walk around the house? Like, hey, I'm a local real estate investor. Same pitch. I'm walking in everywhere I go. It's the same pitch. Local real estate investor. Happened to drive by. I was looking at a house a couple blocks over. I see you guys are working on this one. You mind if I stop by and take a look? I'm looking for new contractors and things like that. Cool. If you could recognize good work, hey, can I get your card? I probably have a couple of projects that I can probably use you on if you got any available guys. Great. It's hard pressed for them to say no. Use that. Talk to them. Look at the work. Ask them about what they're doing. Ask them the cost of things. It's nothing better. You can fully vet. The easiest thing in the world is to do is to vet out a contractor on his own actual project. Okay. Ask them for the investor phone number. If the owner is an investor, ask them for the phone number. See if you can talk with that investor. That's a potential buyer right there. You got a buyer right there. Don't get no realer than that, guys. I mean, he's somebody that bought, that has a contractor that's already working on the house right there. That's the actual buyer. That beat out proof of funds any day of the week. So that's another thing. Get the contact information, talk with that guy, see if he's looking for any more properties, see if he come across properties. He may wholesale and flip houses just like you. That's another way that you guys can network. Take advantage of it. Another thing, title companies. They close transactions. They escrow transactions. If you have a good enough relationship with them, or after you start doing business with them, ask them if they have any other wholesale deals that fall apart, investment properties that fall apart. I'm pretty sure they do. Ask them like, hey, is any way I can get the contact information to this, to the seller, any deal fall apart? You'd be surprised. Like, look, I'll close this property with you too also. I mean, they want the property closed. They already worked on it. If it fall apart, that doesn't do them any good. They just wasted time and resources. Step in and be that hero. Like, let them know that you can close. And it's going to be a little bit easier for you, or at least it should be. If you think about it, this deal done fell apart. The seller's probably upset. The title company, I mean, they're not going to say it, but there's a good chance the escrow officer, she's going to be a little upset about it too also. Get in front of that seller and talk with them. Let them know, like, look, I can't pay $100, but I can pay this. well, I know you want that price, but this is why I fell apart, because of the fact you're asking too much, okay? This is why I fell apart. I'm trying not to let that happen. If the title company gave you permission to talk with that seller, let them know that, hey, the title company gave me your contact if that was okay with them. That's why I'm here, because of the fact they know I will close. You see how much more comfortable that is? It'll make me feel way more comfortable knowing that they gave me somebody that can actually do business. So step in front of these things. Same thing with the attorney. If you're talking with the real estate attorney, ask them what kind of real estate they handle. Oh, great, you do probate. Perfect. I come across a lot of properties that need like affidavits and probate work and things like that. Is it okay if I send them over to you, and once they're done, I can go ahead and buy them? Great, cool, okay. At the same time, do you have anything right now that's coming available that I can buy? You see how it works vice versa? It's always the give take. It's business, and you politicking. It's business. Everything is back and forth. I'm not going to take anything from you if I can give you no value back. And you guys should be the exact same way. So make sure that you stick to that. There's multiple avenues that you guys can go after, and you just, again, recognize, think outside the box always. That's what's going to separate you, and that's what's going to get you to really, really good deals. Honestly, I don't need any of the things up there that's on that list, because I have my hustle and my outside of the box thinking that I know I'm gonna be able to still do a couple deals a month. That either I'm gonna keep and flip or whatever, or I'm gonna wholesale them back out, just because of the fact of I know how to generate leads just by being out in the trenches. All the stuff in front of the computer is great, but the most money that you make is gonna be in the streets and willing to contact, and willing to touch as many people as you possibly can. You see somebody in the elevator with nice shoes on. Hey man, what do you do for a living? Same thing, nice watch you got. You know, it's the same thing. You know, you go into bars and restaurants, if that's what you guys do, go in with like-minded people, areas where you're gonna have like-minded people, like people that wanna do business, that sell houses, that buy houses. You know, these are the kind of areas where you wanna be, and you kinda wanna surround yourself by. You wanna surround yourself with winners. I don't know anybody that surrounds yourself with losers that's a winner. If you do, then you're not a winner anyway. Going back to lists, make sure that you guys are going after like water cutoff lists and eviction lists. These are things that in some cities is really hard to get to, but make sure that you go and you fight and you scratch and you find it. The harder it is to get to it, the more I know I'm gonna make money, because most people want to quit where I kept going, right? And this is the same exact thing. So you gotta just keep on just kind of pushing through and funneling through it. And all this stuff is public record and it's public knowledge. So it's not something, even if you have to pay a little bit for it, the city's not gonna charge you too much to be able to get this stuff. Open and vacant, if the city tag it for open and vacant, they had to resecure it, that property, there's a good chance there's probably a fine on it. The city keep up with who own money. So you can probably get the list. Same thing with high grass. If the city had to cut the grass, they have a list of who own them or what houses. Get the list from the city. They have a list. And don't let nobody tell you they don't keep a list. They have it, and this is all public information. But don't be afraid to go out there and take the extra step to be able to find it. The property's condemned. Okay, it could be condemned. Okay, there's a good chance it's going to be knocked down. It's a vacant lot. It still has some value to it. So again, you guys have to continuously think outside the box on what you can find and areas you can go. Again, it's all about networking, talking to people. Stop into a broker's office. Hey, I was looking at a property 2 blocks over. Wanted to know if there's any agents that may have some off-market listings or some listings that's coming out that need some work. As simple as that. You guys can't be afraid to stop. And if your job is to buy and sell houses, I'm gonna talk to you first more than anybody else, because that's your job. If you don't want to talk about buying and selling houses with me for 5 minutes, you probably don't do your job really well anyway. So it probably is worth me not talking with you. But you guys always have to continue to think, again, outside the box on what's going to benefit you. All right, going to meetups is not going to hurt. I know a lot of people like to use the word of, them being an introvert. I think I'm probably one of the biggest introverts in the world. But when it comes to business and hustling and real estate, I'm gonna talk to you. And I'm gonna go right back to being quiet right after. But at the same time, I know if I'm there and I'm there to network, I make it a goal to walk out of that with at least 7, 10 business cards, and I'm gonna walk out with a lead on the deal, because I'm gonna go and I'm gonna ask people for houses. I'm not afraid to beg for a house. Like, if I need a house to buy, I'm gonna ask whoever I can. I'll call a friend, like, hey, we're gonna talk about some sports, but we also gonna talk about, do you got any houses to sell? And that's just what it is, and that's the business, and there's nothing wrong with that. That just shows you hungry, that you're aggressive, and you're willing to go out there and you're willing to get it. Through all the competition in the world, that's what's going to separate you in doing this, no matter what part of the market that you're in, what part of the country that you're in, I should say. So hopefully these notes and this information that I gave you guys was very beneficial. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me via my REI 360.